Hey guys, I'm back. Oh man, thought for the day. I was just thinking. You know how there's a lot of conspiracy theories going on out there, and I would say that I've never truly dived into any of them really past the cosmology. Once I figured that out, I was like, okay. Oh, and the secret societies. I was okay. I see how it is. They got it. They got it under control. You know, don't make a peep, type of deal. Um, but anyway, what's the point, or what am I trying? What am I driving at? After I figured that out, I really didn't look at any other and like I would say, I even before that I was not like I'm trying to recall now. Honestly, I think I can't recall me ever diving into any like Bigfoot or alien or anything like that. Aliens are already thought as a bunch of nonsense because check it out. Um, they've been before the cosmology concept that I figured or was led to figure out. I didn't figure it out by myself. I heard them saying before that they turned on this dish basically. This was like in the 70s or something, so some kind of a powerful dish or something, and it's going beep 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 beep, beep, and it's sending this Morse code out, right? It's sending this code out into deep space, and it's basically saying we're here. This is our location. Male, female, human, 6 foot, 5'4", blah blah blah, and it's like giving all this information basically. Do you want to come conquer us? It's an invite for everyone, and the hopes that someone, somewhere, some intelligent being, maybe another human race, who knows, will pick this up and be like, "Ooh, you know, I gotta go check this out." Well, they turned the system on, and nothing happened. Now, does that instantly mean that there's no life out there? If you're a normie listening to this, like, you know what, that doesn't mean anything because it takes an X amount of blah 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 to travel and this and that. It takes time. Be patient. Wait for it. Trust the plan. Alright, but here's where I was like, this is a bunch of baloney. Because when you turn on that system to send out a signal, that means you can receive a signal as well. And if you are advanced enough to create all this technology to send something out and to receive something, and expecting that a more advanced being is gonna pick this up and hover on over here, don't you think they would be sending a signal out way before you? That means the moment you even thought about this and you're out there with your little antenna sending something out to space and you turn on your little receiving portion of it, instantly you'd be like all over the radar, like, ooh, alien, 6 legs, 5 arms, you know, like, technology, gold. Anyway, you know, you would already have somebody sending a signal to you. You don't have that. It's nice and quiet, which instantly tells you there's nothing out there. And that's from like a normie perspective. When I was a teenager, I remember I used to watch like science documentaries and stuff like that, and I was watching this guy. I think this is some Jewish guy who's like some professor, rabbi / superhero, right? And he is basically, this guy is like, you know, this guy is working on a time machine. Wow, a time machine. Okay. Back then I was like intrigued because, you know, what if? You don't know. Anyway, so this guy, he had this whole idea and he had like formulas and he's like a madman. He's like Einstein level type deal, you know, like blackboard with chalk and everything. He has formulas written with little spheroids and everything, like, you know, black hole type 3D graphics drawn on there, and just pure mayhem. And he's talking about speed of light and the warping of light, and how you can like create a vortex of lasers, and it's basically gonna create a black hole of sorts, that you'll be able to bend space-time continuum, and everything's like, you know, this guy's a professor, he's getting paid for this, you know, this guy's getting paid for this. They're making a documentary about it. Anyway, his whole concept is this, that once you turn on this machine and all these little lasers, pew pew, fire up in the sequence and make a little helix, vortex, black hole, whatever he thinks he's gonna make, you have started a way to time travel through this. You know, this is a concept that he's building, and this guy's older. He's like close to 60. So, you know, this guy found out how to milk the system. That's what this guy did. And the thing is like this: you turn this machine on, it's big enough, it creates a black hole that you can, you know, drop an object through, for example. And this thing will work as long as it's on, from the point of its energizing it to the point of turning it off. So you can pass a message or an object through this time hole, you can say, right? So I was thinking, hopefully a grenade doesn't come flying out from the other end. But anyway, this guy, I bet you, will never turn this machine on, because according to his theory, that you could only send things back. So let's say if you turn this machine on, and in a year he sends himself a note saying, hey, I'm in the future and invest in Google or something, right? Or hey, machine worked. That means that at any given point in time, if the machine did work, a note would instantly fall out of it that says, hey, good job, self, the machine worked. That means that if you turn this machine on and absolutely nothing falls out of it, it didn't work. And who's going to be brave enough to turn this thing on and get fired, right? Anyway, it's kind of hilarious, you know, that people are going to be people, you know. There's a story there's a story that my dad told me a long time ago, and I've retold this story many times in my life. So the story goes like this: in Russia, there's this scientist that's been looking for a comet for 40 years now, since he was 20. He's 60 now. He's been looking for a comet for 40 years, and he's a professor, whatever. He's big brains. His son, when he was 20, also started helping his father, right? So from his 40s, his son is with him, looking for this comet, right? So when his father's already in age, you know, it's like went past 60, he basically told his son, I want to pass the mantle on to you. You look for the comet now, right? So he's like, okay, I will find the comet, Daddy. I'm on it. 3 days later, the son comes to his dad, you know, all excited. He runs to him like, Dad, guess what? Dad's like, well, what? He's all nervous. I found it. I found the comet. I found it. And he couldn't even finish the sentence. The dad slapped him across the face. He said, you idiot. I found this comet decades ago. This comet fed me my entire life. You know? So he forgot to tell him the part of not finding the comet will basically allow you to look for the comet for the rest of your life. Anyway, I honestly even forgot why I started this video. What was the concept I was going to talk? What were we talking about? We talked about how I discovered about the... Oh, here's my whole point I was driving it from initially. Is that, there's conspiracy theories, there's Bigfoot, there's Sasquatch, there's lizard people, and all that stuff. I never looked into it, right? But let's say some people do look into it. Whatever, I don't care. Even if Bigfoot is real somewhere, just let him be. Leave him alone. I mean, just one Bigfoot. It's not gonna hurt nobody. Just let him walk around. Anyway, my whole point is this: that people look and look and look and look, and I don't know what they're finding or not finding, but by some miracle, we all stumbled onto this millennial kingdom. This is basically the end of the book. If you've been reading a book of theories, conspiracy theories, and all that, truth, this is the final chapter of that book. Maybe you started in chapter 1 and by some miracle ended up at the end of this book and you found the truth. Or maybe you went through all the chapters already. The previous chapter that was leading to all of this was Biblical Cosmology. That's the chapter name, right? So if you read that chapter, the next chapter makes absolute sense. If you didn't read that chapter of the book, this is a hard pill to swallow. Horse-sized pill. You know what I mean? Grainy, big, chalky, no water. This is a big one. If you read the previous chapter, it's baby pill. Makes sense. Smooth. Take as much water as you want. My whole point to this video is to say this, is that we found the truth. We found it. What they've been hiding. What this world is about. We found enough truth, at least, that we don't need to keep on looking further for any more truth or evidence or supporting theories. And honestly, the further you look, the more actually it can be used against you, because now I can start presenting you with counter evidence and things don't make sense and don't line up. We already figured this out, that we're looking at the Bible, and if something doesn't jive, if you want to use that term, with the Bible, if it doesn't match, if it doesn't make sense, then that something is wrong. If you look at history and it doesn't line up with what the Bible says was gonna happen, then they're lying to you. Period. That's it. What people have done in this world, and we have done it, all of us, unknowingly and sometimes knowingly, is that you would read the Bible and you would basically try to massage it to make it fit into the mold that you're given of the world. Whatever it's going to be, history. This is history. Now I gotta massage this Bible to make it fit, because otherwise, is it lying to me or what? You right? And I need to make it make sense. Make it make sense. And they tell me I'm flying around in deep space. Okay. Well, the Bible sounds kind of goofy. It doesn't say anything about anything. It says the opposite. So now I need to massage it and make it make sense. Right? But we have finally arrived at a point, you can use the term enlightened in the right way, enlightening enough that, hey, the Bible is 100% true. Jesus is true. Everything it says is true. We are going to the other side, This is heavy, big stuff to wrap your mind around. That the world is false and the Bible is true. Isn't that something? And all our lives we've lived and we thought kind of the opposite. That we live in reality, and that happened a long time ago. I'm at 15 minutes. See you guys.